I never saw it coming. Michelle and I had been married for 9 years. We had real history. College sweethearts who built a life from the ground up. We'd weathered money problems, celebrated small victories, and leaned on each other through the hard times. I wasn't naive. I knew marriage wasn't always easy, but I believed in what we had. I thought we were solid, real. Then one evening, everything changed with a single sentence. We were at the dinner table, the quiet filled with the clinking of forks on plates. I had made spaghetti, her favorite. She barely touched it. At first, I thought maybe she'd had a rough day, that work had drained her. She seemed far away, stirring the pasta slowly, like she wasn't really present. I put down my glass and looked at her. "Michelle, you okay?" She let out a long sigh, then without even glancing at me, said, "Aaron, I need some space." The words hit like a slap. For a second, I thought I had misheard her. I placed my fork down and leaned in slightly. "Space." She nodded, eyes still fixed on her plate. "Yeah, I need some independence. I need to figure some things out." Silence fell heavy between us. My thoughts raced. Independence from what? Our marriage wasn't suffocating. I wasn't some controlling husband watching her every move. She'd always had her freedom. I never questioned her when she went out, never snooped through her phone. I trusted her completely. That's what love's built on, right? So, where was this coming from? Independence from what? I asked, voice calm but edged with tension. She shrugged, gaze still down. "I don't know. I just feel stuck." Her tone was flat, practiced, no anger, no sadness, like she'd been rehearsing this moment for weeks. It felt surreal. Just a few weeks ago, we talked about upgrading the house, maybe even starting a family. Now, suddenly, she was stuck. I could have pushed her, asked more questions, demanded to know what had changed. But I didn't, because somewhere deep down, I knew this wasn't really about needing space. It wasn't about finding herself. There was something else behind it. So instead of clinging to her, I surprised us both. "All right," I said, leaning back. She paused, fork frozen midair. "Wait, what? You want space? You got it." She looked at me, stunned. I could tell she hadn't expected that. Maybe she wanted me to beg. Maybe she needed me to fight for her, to remind her she still meant everything. But I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't playing that game. And for the first time, I saw it, just a flicker in her eyes. Doubt. She thought she could ask for space and still keep me on standby, waiting around while she sorted through whatever this was. But from the moment I let go, everything shifted. At first, she seemed almost lighter, happier. She started going out more, staying out later, bought new clothes, things she never wore before, heels she used to hate. And her phone, suddenly it was glued to her hand, locked, screen always tilted away when I walked into the room. I didn't say anything. I stopped asking where she was going, stopped texting to check in, stopped waiting up, and she barely noticed. For a while, it looked like she thought she'd won. But here's the thing about people chasing freedom. They never expect to feel lost when they finally get it. That's when the cracks began to show. One night, she came home after midnight. The old Michelle would have texted, crept in quietly so she wouldn't wake me. This new Michelle, she strolled in like she owed no one anything. She seemed ready for a confrontation, but I didn't give her one. I was on the couch, scrolling through my phone, not even looking up. She stood there watching me, waiting. Finally, she said, "You're not even going to ask where I was?" I glanced up briefly. Nope. That threw her off. She just stood there a few more seconds, then scoffed and walked toward the bedroom. But I saw it again. That flicker. Frustration, like she wanted me to care. Needed me to, but I didn't. That was the first time she realized something had changed. A week later, it got clearer. She started texting more, but not about groceries or chores. She wanted to know where I was. The first message came while I was out with friends. "Where are you?" I didn't reply. An hour later, "Are you coming home soon?" I ignored that one, too. Funny. After months of acting like I didn't matter, now she was keeping tabs. The next night, I was getting ready to go out again, just finished buttoning my shirt when she came into bedroom, leaned against the door frame, arms crossed. "Where you going?" she asked, trying to sound casual, but I caught the tension. "Out," I said, checking my watch. "With who?" I gave her a smirk as I grabbed my keys. "Why do you care?" She blinked, caught off guard. And that's when I knew the shift was complete. The freedom she thought she wanted came at a cost. She just didn't realize until it was already gone. I never thought she'd pull away so much. But there it was, clear as day. The realization hit her like a slow, creeping tide, dragging away everything she tried so hard to keep under control. She had spent weeks pretending she didn't care if I came or went, acting as if my presence didn't matter. Now, for the first time, she was on the receiving end of that same indifference, and she hated it. But the truth, I didn't. I felt relief. I wasn't waiting anymore, wasn't wondering, wasn't wasting my care on someone who had already mentally and emotionally checked out. She had asked for space, and now she had it. Only she hadn't expected it to feel so real. She had assumed I'd still be there, orbiting around her, waiting for her to come back. But I wasn't. She had misread the situation. And then something happened that changed everything. Michelle left her phone on the coffee table when she went to the kitchen. It wasn't locked. Something rare these days. I wasn't snooping. I hadn't planned to look at anything. But the screen lit up. A message popped up right there in front of me. "I miss you. When can I see you again?" The words just sat there, bright against the dark screen, carving out the last sliver of doubt I've been holding on to. My stomach tightened just for a second, but my face stayed blank. No shock, no anger, just confirmation of what I'd already suspected. She hadn't needed space. She had needed time to figure things out. That was a cover story. One she'd likely told herself as much as she told me. What she really wanted was a freedom to see someone else while still having the comfort and security of me waiting in the wings. She thought she could keep me as a backup plan. But now, for the first time, I was the one with something to walk away from. I didn't touch the phone, didn't scroll, didn't dig for more. I didn't need the details. I already knew enough. And more importantly, I no longer cared. I wasn't going to confront her, demand answers, or ask her to explain. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of my outrage or my pain. She had gambled. She'd already lost. The next morning, I got up, got dressed, and went straight to a lawyer's office. No hesitation, no doubts. I had made my decision the night before. The lawyer was quick, direct, professional. I told her what I wanted. A clean break, no fights, no mess, just a clean, final exit. He nodded, asked the necessary questions, and got to work. By the time I walked out, the divorce process was in motion. Back at the house, I was glad Michelle wasn't home. She'd mentioned errands, and for once, I appreciated the solitude. I packed quickly, just what I needed: clothes, essentials, a few personal things. As I moved from room to room, I saw how entangled our lives had become, but I felt no pull to stay, no nostalgia. Before I left, I opened a drawer where we kept important papers and pulled out our marriage certificate. I looked at it, feeling the weight of years of what we'd been through. Then I tore it clean in half and placed it right in the center of the kitchen table. That was my goodbye. Suitcase in hand, I walked out without looking back. I checked into a hotel that evening, and the quiet of that room didn't feel lonely. It felt like peace, like control, like I had finally taken my life back. A few hours later, my phone started ringing. Michelle. I let it go to voicemail. She called again, then again. Texts started coming. "Aaron, where are you? Why are your things gone? Please talk to me." I didn't reply. She'd find out soon enough. A few days later, she was served. The divorce papers landed in her hands. That's when calls really picked up. This time, I answered. Her voice was shaky, frantic. "Aaron, what is this? What are you doing?" I leaned back in the chair at my new apartment. Calm, ending this. There was a pause. "You're serious?" she asked, almost like she couldn't believe it. "Completely," I said. Her voice softened, took on that pleading tone. "Please, can we talk? Whatever's wrong, we can fix it." I gave a dry laugh. "Wrong? Michelle, you're what's wrong." Silence stretched on. Then she whispered, "No, I didn't. I know you've been cheating," I said. Her breath caught. "That's what all this space was really about, wasn't it? Your so-called independence. Well, I figured out something, too. I don't need you." She started crying. The kind of tears meant to sway, to change my mind. "I made a mistake," she said. "I wasn't thinking clearly." I sighed, already done with the conversation. "That's your problem now." She begged me not to do this. I didn't answer. I just ended the call and blocked her number. Then I turned off my phone, leaned back, and for the first time in years, I smiled. My life was finally mine again. The divorce went through without drama. She didn't contest it, probably because she knew she had nothing to stand on. When it was over, I moved on, got a new job, built a new life. I wasn't looking back. Months passed. Michelle became a memory, just a cautionary tale. Then one evening, I saw her at the grocery store. She looked different, older, worn out in a quiet, weary kind of way, like someone who had chased something that turned out to be nothing. She spotted me first and hesitated, then walked over. "Aaron," she said with a small smile. "Hey, Michelle," I replied. She glanced at my cart, then back at me. "You look good." "Thanks," I said, offering nothing more. She shifted, awkward now. Then she sighed. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry." I raised an eyebrow. "For what exactly?" She swallowed. "For everything. For taking you for granted. For making the worst mistake of my life." She hesitated, then added, "It didn't work out with him." I nearly laughed. "Of course it didn't." She took a breath. "I don't expect you to forgive me, but maybe we could try again." I looked at her for a long moment. Then I shook my head. "No, Michelle, we can't." Her face fell. "Please." "You lost me," I said, "and there's no coming back from that." She looked like she wanted to say more, but instead she just nodded, tears brimming. "I get it." I gave her one last look, then turned and walked away. As I stepped out of that store, I didn't feel bitterness. I didn't feel regret.